How do norms change and why do they change? That's my research focus. My name is Fabian Winter. I'm the head of the independent Max Planck research group Mechanisms of Normative Change. We look at the channels that are required that social norms change or that stabilize social norms if they are threatened by non-cooperative acts. We are looking at a quite broad range of social norms. One example would be norms of how we talk. We look at behavior in the public space, and we also look at consumption behavior. How do we promote sustainable consumption in the light of climate change, for instance? One such example would be littering in the public space. So we hired actors, and these actors throw coffee cups at other people or in front of other people, and then we look how they react. One main result of this is that natives are more likely to sanction than migrants. Migrants are more likely to be sanctioned than natives. In hindsight, these results may have been expected. I think the interesting part is that this doesn't seem to be driven by different ideas of what should be done. The littering norm is, of course, just one example of many, many norms. They regulate basically every aspect of our lives. And one new emerging aspect of our lives is certainly the internet. And in another study, we look at how social norms regulate hate speech and decent speech in the internet. In this project, we designed our own mini Facebook, so to speak, or a small forum where we posted photos of controversial topics such as migration or gender issues or feminism, so topics that are likely to spark a polarized discussion. Below these photos was a thread of previous comments written by other participants, and their task was to write a comment themselves. And then we rated these photos and looked at how hostile or negative they are towards the group displayed in the photo. Our results show that actually the only thing that works in this small contained mini world that we build up is deleting the comments. So if you remove these instances of hateful comments, this will not be voiced in the public sphere. That will tone down the discussion and ideally keep others in the discussion who would else drop out and not speak out because they don't like the atmosphere in this environment. Before I ran the experiment, I thought that the peer pressure by just members of the group would be much more successful in reducing hate speech than actually simply censoring negative stuff. For me, understanding why norms change is so exciting because it's something that happens around us all the time, and it's a hard problem, it's a complex problem. It involves many people interacting in a somewhat almost chaotic fashion, and still often we coordinate on new social norms. I think one big puzzle, which is still to be explained empirically, is why do certain norms stay stable for such a long time? So, for instance, we observe that homosexuality is much less problematic than it used to be 30 or 50 years ago, but still we have domains where we don't observe that publicly, at least, at all. So think of football. There's not a single professional football player, active football player, who admits or says publicly, openly, that he is homosexual. But I believe that once we see the first person coming out, that this will unravel pretty quickly. In the future, we will, of course, continue the successful work that we have done over the past years, but also focus on how social norms interact with social class and social status. Working here at the Institute together with my group gives me the possibility to really ask bigger, more relevant questions. And I think that's simply amazing.